44 and 76 Susquehanna Street project. For approval, letters from Boyle Construction Management Incorporated dated October 6, 2020, recommending bids received for 4476 Susquehanna Street project opened on October 1, 2020. Recommend contract awards as follows. General Construction, Uri Construction Incorporated of Reading, Pennsylvania, at the bid price of $2,395,000.
So moved. Second, discussion. So I would say, Rocky, this has probably been, second to COVID, the number one, let me call it, issue that the commissioners collectively focused their time and effort on. I've actually been focusing on this effort for about 2.5 years now. And I was sitting on the other side, or standing on the other side of this dais, or this table, at the time. And I think almost everyone, except maybe one or two, were also in those meetings. We worked extremely close together, Rocky, Wayne, and I, with Boyle Construction and Form Space, to develop a good plan that was fiscally responsible and met the needs of the town. We focused emphatically on safety, financial savings, not disruptive to Jim Thorpe or county tourism, the employees who are going to have to temporarily relocate. We brought in the late Ben Wahlberg, historical architect, to help us in the design of that meeting. So, there is no doubt that we've come a long way since the 76 Susquehanna Street project. I truly believe that. And keep in mind, that was 110 parking spaces. I always called it two-level parking garage that just so happened to have 25,000 square feet of office space on top of it. But there was never a workspace allocation study done. No subject matter expert went top to bottom in county government and made a determination of how much space this county actually needed to meet its needs. No one's ever seen a study done. And I emphasize this again on January 6th and during our early on meetings on that. I know that Commissioner Arner mentioned a few months ago this particular renovation project, which is 44 and 76 inclusive now, is going to meet 50 to 55% of our space needs. Well, I'll tell you, Chris Lukasevich never went to my teacher and said I did 50% of my homework. I never went home to my mother and told her I got 50% on a test, and I was happy with that result. Fact is, this is meeting about 1/3 of the actual space needs if you use what was planned for this project as the base, about 25,000 square feet. Remember, in this plan, there is no consideration of moving, elections, workforce, planning and development. The entities that this was focused on aren't really, for the most part, other than adult probation, actually included in the current renovation project. I also was concerned at about the 2-year point when Mary came in here from what would be SOS and raised her concerns about the impact on St. Mark's Church and the stained glass windows that are irreplaceable. And we recognize, everyone recognize that. Even given the steps that were going to be taken and will be taken to protect the integrity of that stained glass. Nonetheless, at that time, I did say, and matter of fact, Jeff and Tony, we walked out in the parking lot a couple months ago, and I said, I oppose this project. I oppose anything that threatens any level of risk to St. Mark's Church. That is where I am in my heart with that. I've said to Commissioner Nosting from the beginning, We should sell 44 Susquehanna Street, let private entity deal with the risk, not the public, let the private entity, not county government. It's not a risk I'm comfortable with, right? You have calculated risks, and that's what this is. And I know the mitigation steps have been taken place and continue to be put in place to mitigate any possibility of this. Well, you say, Chris, but there aren't any other options. Well, actually there are. And these were discussed with this board. Space here in Jim Thorpe that would have met 50,000 square feet of office space and potentially met the total requirements. Jim Thorpe Area School District office, the Sargent Building, the YMCA, all three of those properties were available for consideration. And the analysis was done. Nothing new, all right? But I'm a pragmatic realist. And inevitably, this project is going to move forward. If not today, it's going to move forward in a week. And I worked extremely hard to save the taxpayer about $400,000 with doing concurrent renovations. Actually felt unnecessarily like I was swimming upstream the whole time, which still to this day shocks me. But nonetheless, I am a pragmatic realist, although passionate. And this award is inevitable. Any delay in award is going to cost us notable money. Every 5 minutes or every hour Jeff and Tony are sitting here, Form Space or Boyle Construction costs us money. And I can't sleep at night thinking that I would do something that's going to cost more money to the taxpayer. That's all I have.
Okay,